Okay, welcome to Obscure Depths. I'm your host, Cakes. Our expert today is Chuck.
Hello.
Chuck, how you doing? Sorry,
Good. Thanks.
lost my screen there for a second.
No problem. Thanks. I appreciate the invite, Cakes.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. Let's get right into it. Great Thursday night matchup early on in the season. Chicago at Green Bay. Sheridan's got Green Bay by a touchdown right now. It seems kind of high. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a great game. I think Green Bay is clearly one of the three best teams in the league. I don't think Chicago can win the game. That being said, I'll take the 7 points all day long in a rivalry game. I think Chicago's defense has gotten old. I think they'll give up some points, but again, I think they stay within a field goal, maybe lose by 4 or 5 points. Take Chicago.
Not sure if it's what his status is right now, but I think Greg Jennings might be unofficially questionable right now at this point. I think that offense is definitely a different team without him in there. They don't have their slasher, their deep threat or whatever. So I like the points too. I think Chicago can win this game. I don't know if Green Bay wants to start 0-2, but I think they can win this game. So I'd say Chicago takes the game by a field goal. How about that?
We both like the points.
Yes, definitely. Tampa Bay at the New York Giants. Just in case you don't know, Chuck is a huge Giants fan, so we'll see if he's unbiased here.
Danny Sheridan's line is 7 points. Giants favored at home by 7 points. And I love me some New York Football Giants, but I'm going to take the dog. I'm taking the 7 points. I think the Giants win the game. I'm nervous about their offensive line, and more importantly, very nervous about their suspect defensive backs. Too many injuries. I see Tampa getting some plays, big plays on those cornerbacks from the Giants. Giants win the game, probably a field goal game. Lawrence Steins makes a field goal. Last couple of minutes of the game, Giants win by 3.
I'm going to take the Giants. I know Tampa had a good week last week. They didn't score a whole lot of points, though. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a big spot for Freeman. I think this game's in the winter. It's definitely a little bit of a different outcome, but I think the Giants will take them. I think they're going to be mad about losing to their rivalries, Dallas, and they're going to come out and take it. So, next game, we got Arizona at New England. 13.5-point favorites are the Patriots. What do you think, Chuck?
13.5 points. What a huge spread for an NFL game. That's almost 2 touchdowns. I never take that many points. I always take the dog. Wrong.
But
I'm taking the Patriots. They seem to be the one team in the NFL, Belichick and that offense, the style. I think Arizona's young in bad spots. Haven't proven anything at the important positions. Quarterback. I think New England's going to win going away. I see them winning by 20, 24 points in this game.
I'm gonna take the points. That's a lot. That's a lot of points, and I'm taking the points because I thought Arizona was gonna get shellacked by Seattle last week, and they proved me wrong. So I'm gonna take the points. You got to take the points there, definitely right. Minnesota at Indianapolis. I said last week that this might be the only time all year that Minnesota's favored, but they're favored again. They're favored by 2 points on the road.
And I am the ultimate bet against Minnesota guy, especially around these parts. So many Vikings fans. Minnesota given 2 points on the road, and I'm taking the Vikings. I think Indy's just a young team. They've gotten old on defense. That defense, I think, is one of the worst in the league. I see a big day out of Adrian Peterson, 120-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. Wear the Colts down in the second half, win by 7 to 10 points. I'll take the Vikes favored by 2.
I'm a huge Florida State fan, but sorry, Christian Ponder. Andrew Luck's going to get his first win against you guys. I think the Colts win this game by a touchdown. I just think Andrew Luck at home, and I just don't think Minnesota's that very good a team. I think you're right. I think AP will have a day, but I think it'll be a kind of a shootout, and I think Andrew Luck can hang. I don't know if Ponder has the arm to throw for 300 yards, and I think he's going to need to if the Vikings want to win this game. Moving on, we have the Saints at Carolina. Saints road favorite at 2.5.
Like you said earlier on another team, I mean, can you really see, you mentioned with the Packers going 0-2, can you see the Saints going 0-2? Favored by 2.5, that's essentially a pick 'em. You don't see many NFL games, won by a point or two. So because I have the hook in my favor, I'm taking the Saints to cover the 2.5 on the road at Carolina. I think teams are going to figure out Cam Newton a little bit this year as opposed to last year. I don't think he'll quite have the success he did last year. And I think Breeze and the boys are going to come out firing. Carolina's defense very suspect again this year. I think the Saints win by about 7 points, touchdown.
Yeah, I think the Saints win this game too. Newton might end up leading that team in rushing this year, and that's never a good thing when your quarterback leads an NFL team in rushing. I'm not sure on the logistics of that happening, but yeah, I think the Saints come out and win this game. I think it might be a little bit of a shootout. I think Newton and Breeze will both have big days, but I think the Saints get this game by a touchdown, definitely. Buffalo hosting KC. Buffalo an early 3.5-point favorite.
I'm taking Kansas City. They're getting 3.5 points on the road. I don't think Kansas City is as bad as the score indicated last week. I think the Falcons are a tough team. And frankly, Buffalo, although I thought they were going to be better going into the year, I don't think C.J. Spiller's an everyday back in the NFL. Fred Jackson, I think, is not playing in this game. I don't know how hurt he is, but I don't think he's playing.
2 to 4 weeks, I believe.
Yeah. So I just think, especially with that hook in my favor at 3.5, I don't see this being more than a field goal win by either team, so I'll take the 3.5, Kansas City.
I'm pretty sure it was last year. These two teams met opening weekend, and Buffalo destroyed KC on their home field. That being said, I like Buffalo to win again. I think KC was be looking for some redemption, but I think Buffalo is going to want to prove that last week was a fluke. I don't see that KC offense doing much. I like their weapons. I do not like Matt Castle on the road at Buffalo, definitely. I say Buffalo by a touchdown. Moving on, we have Philly and Baltimore. Ooh, potentially a good game. Philly is a 2.5-point favorite at home.
2.5-point favorite at home. I'm an NFC East guy, as we mentioned earlier. Love me some Giants. Do not like the Eagles. I don't respect Michael Vick as a quarterback. I think he's overrated. And I think Baltimore, although old on defense, is way more physical than the Eagles. The Eagles receivers, Macklin, Deshaun Jackson, I think they're soft. I think they're going to be intimidated. I'll easily take that 2.5-point underdog Baltimore on the road.
Yeah, I like Baltimore too. Let's face it, Philly played a very bad Browns team who played even worse than I thought they would and just escaped with the win last week on the road. So be a little bit hyped up in the first home game, but when you're 2.5-point favorites at home, that's really not saying a whole lot. So I like Baltimore, who was probably impressed me the most out of anybody last week. I really like the Cowboys too, but I think Baltimore was definitely the most impressive team. That defense is getting old, but they are still pretty stout, and I think they're going to put the clamps down on Vic. This is kind of a speed against power type of game, and I see Baltimore going in there and beating them. Oakland going to Miami. Oakland 2.5-point favorite on the road.
Are there any Raiders fans in the house?
Oh, just one. I really hope we have a long snapper on hand for the road trip at least. So anyway.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm going to say this, taking the Raiders on the road as a 2.5-point favorite, but I truly think Miami is the worst team in the NFL. One of the worst teams we've seen in the last 5-6 years. I think they're a bad team. I think Oakland can establish the run, do a little bit of power football. I see them kicking another 4 or 5 field goals. Janikowski. I think it's an ugly win. I think it's a 20-13, 20-10 type ball game, but I think Oakland wins.
Yeah, I like the Raiders to win too. That's not my fan talking, just my head talking. I think Miami, if they have any strength, it's probably Reggie Bush, and that's not necessarily great strength. And I think Oakland gave up 20 yards on the ground against San Diego, even though they lost on Monday night. So I think Oakland wins this game easy. I don't think they're going to embarrass Miami by any means, but I think they're going to, probably 10 points. Cincinnati 7-point favorites at home against the Cleveland Browns. Big rivalry game. What do you think?
Yeah, for whatever reason, I think this is one of the tougher games to pick this week. These rivalry games such as this, it seems like, I didn't look at the historic facts, but just my memory serves me, this game is always an ugly, close football game. That being said, I'm taking Cincinnati to cover the 7. That's a big spread for me to take. I think Cleveland's a bad team. I think Cincinnati's better than what they showed last week. I think they're a top 5-6 team in the AFC for sure. So I think they win this going away, specifically in the second half. I think they wear them down, probably win a 24-13 type ball game.
Yeah. Cincy was clearly overwhelmed last week. Yeah, I say they bounce back and beat Cleveland pretty good at home. Houston at Jacksonville. Texans are a 7-point favorite on the road.
I can't take or bet against a home team underdog in the NFL getting a touchdown or more. I'm taking Jacksonville. I don't think they're a good team. I don't think Houston's great. I think they're one of those teams that's going to win a lot of ugly games this year. I think they win this game. I'm taking the points, 7 points. NFL home team dog, tough to go against that. I think Jacksonville hangs long enough with their running game, pound the ball, run the clock, keep it low scoring. I think they stay within 7 points in this game.